Nobody can see your Aberdeen heart, London eyes, Glasgow bones. She's a
All right, guys, welcome back. Counter Pit, day one of the stage, the group stages. We already had our first matchup. It was VP versus Team Dignitas, and they split it 1-1. Train went to Virtus Pro convincingly, which was actually picked by Dignitas, and then the reverse happened on Cash, which is where we're going to start off in this second matchup. It's going to be EnvyUs versus Team SoloMid. This is a big match early on.
Yeah, I'm here, just getting online real quick.
For sure. I've had a doorbell ring, so I'm going to run to answer that. But
all right.
You can break it down. I mean, the first map is going to be Cash, and then we do go to Inferno for the second, the best of two, the second map. And Cash was actually picked by EnvyUs, so they had the first choice. Team SoloMid pick Inferno, which doesn't surprise me because they have had good success on it. Their T side has been hot. It's been on point. Yeah. It's definitely been stronger for them. They've beaten Fnatic on it a number of times in quick succession, but we haven't seen them play EnvyUs as much recently.
Yeah, well, we have to see how Cash does go down. It was somewhat a terrorist's favorite map in the last matchup between Dignitas and VP, so whether it'll be the same flavor this time around, we'll have to wait and see. Let me just double check and make sure my map is working correct this time. Yes, it is. Fantastic. Yeah, so EnvyUs versus TSM, as Sadicus mentioned earlier, that we haven't seen a lot of these two teams online. We've seen I think one or two lands they face off against each other, but this is still a relatively new matchup. Obviously with the change for TSM, most of the guys coming over from the old team Dignitas, the Danes, and they'll be up against the former LDLC team EnvyUs. Not many changes coming out there, but just talk a little bit about some players to keep an eye on today. NBK, as we kind of chatted a bit about in the previous game, is who your picks would be for the matchup today. And I think one of the players highlighted was NBK as well as Happy. And then over on TSM, of course, Kerrigan, who's one of the men in there right now, and could also be one of the star players to keep an eye out for today. But the knife round will tell the tale, really, to see which team takes their preferable side. Whether it is still a map which favors CT, I'm starting to sway a bit away from that at the moment. I mean, some of the teams we did mention right at the end of the last game, it's like teams are putting a lot more effort and a lot more power into their T side, and it's something that we've definitely come to see. I mean, this is one of those maps.
I think it's going to be similar to Train, where originally this was a North American map. Obviously, it's made by Volcano, FMPO&E contributing as well, but Volcano designed this map. It's been around for a long time in North American rotations. ESCA and CEVO both ran it for a number of seasons before it was picked up by the Valve crew and made into one of the Valve maps. It's the only map not made by Valve or a grandfathered map from a previous version of Counter-Strike that's in the major map pool. And originally, it was kind of the go-to for North Americans against Europeans for that reason, because they had the meta. That. Exactly, they had the meta figured out. Now it's gone back the other way. The Europeans have definitely figured it out, and it's kind of meta development. That's where I want to say it's similar to Train, because Train's really early. We're seeing the same thing. It's super CT-sided. It used to be the same for Cash, but and I used to say back when it was a newer map, it was T-side make or break you, not in the fact that you were expected to win T-side, but you needed to get rounds, because that's how you would beat other teams who didn't have execution down pat, who didn't know the map. So if you could pick up a few extra rounds, oftentimes you would carry that over to CT and end up winning the map, or vice versa. Now it's definitely come into a map that's very commonly played. I'd say Mirage, Inferno, you could debate Dust 2 at times at certain events are played more, but they're the only ones that are played more. And everyone's got execution figured out quite well. A lot of different ways you can play mid. That's where the big contest comes in, is in that mid position to try and control it and limit what the terrorists can do. Because if they open that up, they can split each bomb site quite easily.
Looking at these two teams, looking at the matchups here, you talk about the mid sort of composition, how you go set up mid. The kind of, I don't say it's the default, might not be the wrong word to use, but on the CT side, looking for that default setup mid, you usually go for the one mid in the sort of CT main, and then you would go for the one sitting on Speedway or the white box. But we've seen a lot of change up. We've seen a lot of guys putting emphasis into that boost up into the vents. We saw it a lot in the previous game, and it just kind of changed the composition. At one stage, you'd even have 3 sitting on the mid. It depends on obviously the team you're playing against, whether it is a team that puts a lot of emphasis on that middle, like we actually saw Virtus Pro doing.
And there's different approaches as well. I mean, TSM typically play 2-2-1 with 2 in mid and a quick rotation back to the A site. Fnatic play 1-1-3 in middle, and then other teams like Titan play, depending on whether or not Kenny's having an on or off day at mid, they'll play Apex there solo with a rifle. So there's lots of different ways you can hold it. There's definitely different approaches. The big thing is if you can get a player boosted in the vents or even down middle and into the front of vents if you have to, you can have a lot more swing potential, a lot more rotation potential to cover off the map. And of course we go to Inferno second. If it's best of 2, it's ultimately a double header because there's points on offer for both maps. It's not a series-based point, so if they split maps, it doesn't go 1 point for a draw. It's per map. So if they win this, so let's say EnvyUs win this map, they get 3 points, and then Team SoloMid win Inferno, they get 3 points. You still get 3 points for a win, so points are definitely still available. The only way you get a draw for that single point for a draw is if you go 15-15, because there's no overtime in the group stages, so I mean, if we go to Inferno, I think it's really cool, because TSM, like I say, when they beat Fnatic on it, they went 7-0 T-side to start out. It's usually catching out the economy of the CT team, and their pistol round's been what's allowing them to do that on the T-side. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that when we get there, but it's EnvyUs. It's a different opponent. Envy seems to think they've had this debate with Thorin for the last, 6 months to say they're the best team on Inferno, but their results haven't really lived up to that. But it's all chemistry, who matches well with who, and obviously TSM is beating Fnatic on Inferno. We'll see if when they match up against EnvyUs, it comes back the other way. We'll see if things favor EnvyUs instead. So it definitely comes into play styles against A versus B.
Yeah,
and I don't mean bomb sites. I mean A variable, A team, and B team.
Yeah. The one thing to note obviously about EnvyUs is back a couple of months ago, Inferno was their map. Personally for me, when I thought of a team who was really strong on Inferno, your Fanatics, your Nips came out, but EnvyUs, they were the team. Inferno was their map. So going to that second map, and that's going to be a tough one. And then again, Dignitas, TSM as well. It's back in the old days, that was their map, and it's going to be such a tight matchup. Whether Cash, depending on how Cash goes, like you said, some of the teams, I don't disagree, but as you said, it is somewhat a new map in the meta, and that's one thing I noticed as well. You spoke about the NA teams, and that was something I saw right at the beginning. C9, the old ABBA power, these were the maps that they were strong on, and it was 100%. Actually, I didn't even consider it. I mean, what you told me today was the first time I've ever heard that. Like I said, I'm kind of new to Counter-Strike, and you mentioned that it was an NA-made map, and now it makes sense. Like, they used to wreck on Cash. It was one of those maps. It was a go-to map, and
And now the only map they really have left to do that with, and unfortunately due to the new amalgamation of ESCA and ESL, was Season, and that's not even going to be in any tournament anymore. And even that map's been going against them in recent months. So yeah, I think Season still has a place in the game. I think it has an interesting meta. It's a little bit different in that the rotations are long. It has a very different approach to mid that it actually can cut off rotators directly there and limit what the CT's options are, as opposed to limiting the T's options. It's actually a T control position. So it's kind of a cool map. I think I think a rotating map pool or having it come in every now and then would be a welcome treat, but that's up for Valve to decide. That said, before we do get started, we did have to do our Vulcan picks for today. I actually failed like an idiot and forgot to get the team picked in time. We went to the knife round in the last match before I actually hit submit, so we didn't actually get it in because we would have had an awesome team. We had Snacks, we had Bialy, both those guys were awesome. We had Kierby for Dignitas, who had an awesome game. I mean, we had some sick players picked up, and then for this match we have we would have had, I should say, Dupree, Zipnik's Happy, who else we got? Cajun B. Yeah, we would have had a sick team. NBK. Yeah, we would have had 5 guys in this with the 3 top players from the other game. We would have done all right. The one time we get it right. So don't forget, you can join into Counter Pit League. All you got to do is scroll down below the channel, hit the promo code, or use the promo code CounterPit when you go over, and you can jump into the league and make your fantasy team. Hopefully you'll be smarter than me and get it in before it starts. But Knife Round's going to get underway. And we'll see who's going to start out on the CT side of Cash. Predicted the CT side. Now, I've said that. Nip on this map of actually trying to catch teammates off guard or cold at the start of events started out T-side intentionally, and TSM did that twice at Face It to try and bring themselves back into the event against Nip in the finals. Or rather, I think it was actually the semifinal against VP. Don't quote me. They did it in one of the semifinals, and it actually worked for them just by getting that out of the way early. So sometimes teams will choose to pick the T-side first.
Oh, yeah, they're going to go for the CT side, naturally. I like it. It's like it's a safe bet. I mean, if this may not be your pick or may not be your strongest map, you know, in the end, CT is really the way to go. And T takes a lot, man. It takes a lot to have that perfect T side. And you know, it's something that we spoke about, just how much power we've seen teams putting into their T side, and we'll see what EnvyUs can do. I don't want to go ahead and say it, but EnvyUs have not been playing like they used to. Put it that way. They're not. They've had a rough couple of weeks, but I mean the odds really speak for themselves.
A lot of people, because we were so busy, fail to realize, and more people are slowly making mention of it with Fnatic as well, that the post-patch situation is nerfing a couple of teams, and this is one of them, I think, because we were so busy. We had Copenhagen Games. We've had an event every weekend since then, but Pistol Round's underway. Look at this A pressure already coming out for EnvyUs through the smoke. Smith tries to find some damage into the site. Actually successfully does tag down Kerrigan to 9 HP, and that's with a headshot because he's got chest armor, but his head unprotected, and he'll conk a bullet with it, so they'll have to try and respond. Oh, that nade. Unfortunately, Zipnix, that would have done decent damage to NBK.
Yeah, that tag was actually middle. Kerrigan got hit down pretty hard. Just through middle. Wow. Cajun B gets out Kiyoshima. He pushes through flashbang. Not going to hit as well, but they are putting a little bit of pressure onto the safe side here. But Cajun B going to get mashed up here with MBK. Can he hold it off? Doesn't have enough bullets. Has to drop a reload mid-combat. It's not going to work out too well for him. But HP at the moment is looking pretty decent. Well, pretty much the same on both sides, but not Kerrigan. Right on the head there on Happy.
So interesting that they got down middle. They kind of did what we saw VP try and do to Dignitas, where they kind of overstayed their welcome and pushed all the way through. The problem is that if that works, if you're quick, you have to have the split players make the play and hold the site. And Kerrigan, we saw, got that kill at A main. Smiths does drop down. Kerrigan got that kill at A main, and that means they could all come back out of each bomb site, B and A, and trap them in the mid over toward their spawn. So if you're going to go for that fully committed play all the way through Z Hall, you have to have an entrance onto one of the sites. As soon as that entrance is lost, there's no real chance. So they could have split A through Highway, I think, a little bit more effectively there.
There were a couple of mistakes there. That nade, I think, would have definitely been a kill. That was obviously a bit crucial, and it's not the end of the world, but they did actually end up winning the round anyway. But there was a flashbang that went miss, and that tag was so important. Kerrigan, if Kerrigan went down, that would have opened up mid-wide there for EnvyUs, but it's kind of fortunate now they come out. Well, they actually went for a force buy. Oh, no, they didn't, sorry.
Nice shot, Kiyoshima, popping back out with that Tech 9. It is a bit of a force. They do actually bring out the Tech 9s, so it's a standard second round pistol, but Zipnix will close out the round. They did lose 2, so there was some damage done to the economy. SMG got 1 kill for Zipnix, though. That's pretty important. That'll build him back up to 51. Now do they upgrade? Okay, so Device goes immediately right to an MP7 as well. Did he throw that off? I think he might have tossed that over to Kerrigan.
Yeah, I mean, it's a smart choice to keep up the SMGs for the time being. I mean, there was a force come out there from EnvyUs, so they know there's not going to be much left. Oh.
So this is their attempt to get Device's op out sooner by throwing that op across, and it's working because this round's already flawless so far. So Happy's the only one left.
Yeah, he's going to answer quite nicely. Takes out Dupree, and now the hunt begins. The wild hunt. Happy smoke grenade hanging out, and yeah, Kerrigan will take him straight out with that SMG. So yeah, that's a lot of cash spreading around there. 7,200 on Kerrigan. Yeah, I've got to see. I got to start learning these things now, because obviously people watching, you got to say your thousands and your hundreds, like 5,100. Because I realize when I say 5,100, people might get a bit confused. Well,
okay.
Confused, but it's obviously not what they're used to.
It's okay. You do you, bro. You do you.
Yeah.
Oh, Device. This is really aggressive, and it pays off. 2 AKs already down on the EnvyUs side, and Team SoloMid continuing on with early dominance, but Kiyoshima and Smiths bring that right back. They win out that exchange in mid. This forces Zipnix to come back all the way to the A site. He has Happy on the opposing side of that smoke grenade, so he can't get off of the A site because they'll walk in. Does give up mid a little bit, but Cajun B, he's compensating for that really passively inside Z Hall, but either way, they still have some presence. Problem is they're really spread out, really split up. Kiyoshima very low on HP, though. That's 1+ on this entry for Team EnvyUs. But Smiths, he's going to find KGB. So now it's split up 1-1 defensively. It's going to be a 3-1 take on whatever bomb site it is. Zipnix has to hit this first shot. He's normally the support player. Now he has to be the clutch player. He already finds Happy. Gets the second on Smiths. That's massive, because he was the high HP player, and Zipnix on only 7. Now it's just 4 HP on Kiyoshima. They have left to deal with. Swaps to the AK. Finds him. Zipnix, great hold. 3 kills on the A site.
That was incredible. Something I wanted to say, like, that there was, at this sort of level of the game, if you don't get that first shot, you know, you're going to get tagged to at least 10% HP. Even in that case, what was it, 7 or 9? And then I was thinking, oh man, this guy rushing up Speedway, is he able to do it? And it was just a fantastic headshot. And then obviously cleaning it up with the AK-47. And Zipnix, this is just one of those players that was able to do those kind of things. And are they going to play aggressive? I kind of like this, the shot test. Oh, Dupree took the last frag there. Once still hanging on to that SMG, but now the play here from the...
Awkward situation for Zipnix. I know it's only pistols, but he started to rotate off early, get himself over to Highway. That does give him an escape plan on the site, but luckily he comes back in time, and Device rotates accordingly. That bails him out big time, because now Zipnix doesn't have to worry about everyone focusing onto him. It's Kiyoshima suddenly... There you go, Tech 9, Rec 9, Shrek 9, OP 9, whatever you want to call it. Does pick up 2 as he spams away with those bullets, and Zipnix says, alright, you want to use it, I'll use it too, bud. Down you go.
Yeah. Fight fire with fire. But another great round for Team SoloMid, and they're playing with that aggression again. We spoke about it a bit in the VP game. It's just that CT side aggression, and it's hard to keep up. Like, it's hard to call these shots because everything's happening so quickly. There doesn't seem to be any sort of patience from the side of EnvyUs. They're moving with urgency. They're realizing that, guys, we can start making some frags. We can start getting some rounds on the board here. You know, and it's just not happening. I mean, TSM are just running right over them at the moment, and they're going to start slowing it down right now. They are going to be up against another buy round coming out here from EnvyUs. 4 AKs all round, just an AWP in the hands of Kerrigan. Interestingly enough, but he's going to hold on to this middle for the time being, anticipating a boost, but it's not going to come through. While they're kind of split them, it's going to be sort of a, oh, nice little tag there through a small little gap there. But they are kind of split at the moment. We've got, it's just Happy playing that door, and Shuxy as well, sitting in that A main, so taking things slow. He's actually out.
Really well done now by Device. Zipnix this time does get taken out, and you have to remember, Zipnix normally a support player, specifically on CT side. This map does cater to him well. We discussed that a little bit, actually, earlier when we were looking into the Vulcan stuff and saying that depending on the map, Zipnix can be big. Well, this is the map that he's massive on. This round, though, already out. Gets compensated, though, by Device sliding up highway. Instead, though, he goes down. Kerrigan's on a quick rotation. This does support cajunb well, so they've read this play correctly for EnvyUs, but they're still going for this entry, and somehow cajunb times his peak. NBK can do nothing, and he'll find Happy immediately after. It's all up to Kerrigan, up close with Kiyoshima. Can't hit the no-scope, so it does go back to a one-on-one, and Kiyoshima with the high ground. He's making a lot of noise. He's going to fall for this bomb, and cajunb's not fooled by it. He'll collect 3 this time, so both of your in-house players, your direct A player and direct B player, are playing phenomenally well for TSM right now.
Yeah, this is the scary thing, man. When they're on form like that, it's gonna make breaching their sights just so much more difficult. Yeah, you got your support players sitting around getting information, but like you said, when you have your 2 inside players sitting really at the top of the scoreboard, it's gonna start spelling you a couple of problems here. But they are onto what could be seen as kind of a force coming out here. AK-47, just a little bit of gear on Kiyoshima, but. Yeah, this is looking dire, man. 6-0, yet to get a point on the board, and yet to get a lot of frags as well. I mean, look at that, 5 for 6, 3 for 6. They really are struggling throughout these rounds, but we'll see what they can do out here. It's going to be a slight push towards the A side, and the door is open. What we see, Zifix gives it a close once again. Don't look to peek there, don't look to make any trouble, but now Kiyoshima almost gets sprayed down there just a little bit. Drop down to 76 HP, and we're still looking to see. Oh, he spots him out middle. Can he get the AWP shot? He does. Kerrigan, quick, fast fingers. The nerf to the AWP means nothing to him. It's going to be another kill for Zifnix in the A site, and well, I don't know, Sadicist. This is looking pretty dire.
Again, it's really good rotations. TSM have really strong. I have to say, as much as I've been hyping up their T side lately of being improved, their CT is really dynamic. They'll run with Kerrigan on an op. They'll run with cajunb on an op. They'll usually go to Device CT sided. They've got really good, I guess, depth and ability to carry different weapons, but it's these rotations. Happy makes it a little bit interesting toward the end just to pick up 2 kills, but it's these rotations. Device already inside the A site on an early read. cajunb has the op out, so he has full comfort and control of middle. He's more than confident to allow his team to rotate away, and with the second player in B, they're able to get that boost into vents. Every single thing is covered off, and effectively they're holding with 4 and having a really good swing between the 2 mid players. That's solid. That's what you need. You need to be quick on cash. You need to have a read on your opponent early to get inside these sites and hold them out. So going really well for TSM.
Yeah, it's one of the sites as well. There's a slight. It's quite a lengthy rotation. I mean, yeah, you get a little bit of information moving from B side to the A side, vice versa, through mid, catch any rotators, but it's always a little bit of a tough, actually, it's a little bit of a tag down there, only to 84. But yeah, talking about I mentioned the AWP nerf, or the change to the AWP rather, not much of a nerf, but it is, with every single patch that can come up with Counter-Strike, it's the teams that adapt the quickest that you'll see rising, like TSM, and one dig misses there, can Kyo pick it up, he still starts spamming, he finally gets it. Looked like a 1 dig there, but it would have been a 1 dig, but unfortunately was not. Now Kyo into the B idea, trying to make as much noise as possible. Picks up a rifle as well. Might run face to face with cajunb, but yeah, just turning away at the last second.
Yeah, it was the right idea. Smiths, though, they give up mid completely this time. So Device rotates out a little bit too early. Kerrigan, went to truck. And as a result, there was a miscommunication because Device had no idea he was exposed from the side. Kerrigan makes up for it by picking up 2, but it's only a trade. So that means we're one-on-one. And cajunb, so slow to work up highway, has to say sneaky. Unfortunately, it allows Happy to get back out to A main, so he's got good post-plant position. Bombs planted in his favor with this op. cajunb going to go aggressive on the peak. He'll be hurt. That footprint will give his position, but he spots up the kneecap. Tries to put damage in. Unfortunately, the wall not that penetrable. He only does 1 damage on that play, and he'll try and throw out the fire so he can't push him. He can still actually play that from the right side, but it's even smarter than that from cajunb. He baits him out. He knows he can't push from the front. He can only go over the top to get the quick peek. And cajunb, that's a bit of brilliance. And I say Cajun, you say 7 rounds TSM. Make it 8, to 0 from EnvyUs on the T side of Cash. Their map choice, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I kind of would have... I kind of would have gone straight for balls to the wall, man. Kind of rushed him with the pistol, caught him off guard. Because, yeah, I think that was the plan. Bait him out, get him out to the jump, let him jump over and pick him off. But, bring out your pistol, charge right at his face, try to get those headshots in. And, yeah, just so well played there from cajunb. And that's it, 8-0, as you said. And
I think the B, by the way, stands for brilliance in cajunb, because that was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. I mean, these are the kind of things you don't think of as a player. And you watch these games, and you're like, wow. I'm going to try that one day. That could actually work. But still, Team EnvyUs looking for that opening, looking for that weakness in the impenetrable armor. that TSM are wearing at the moment. Nice nade over there, straight into the door. He's going to drop down Happy just a little bit. He's playing this door, usually his spot really, usually the place that would see Happy making things happen. Kind of a core position for him to get that information out to his team. And that little smoke comes out as well. NBK is out, trying to look for a spray or two. They are boosted up into vents as well. Now they're going to make their way bursting out. There's going to be an AWP shot coming out here from Kerrigan. He actually gets the shot. It looked like he turned away from my screen there, but now Device out there. Good molly to go down as well. And, it's going to catch them out. It's going to be enough damage. That's the bomb down in mid. And once again, slow, calculated play coming out here from TSM. And now they seem to have full control over this mid. They got sight on the bomb. One little headshot here from Kiyoshima. And wait for the peak to come out.
Oh, that nade pulled by Chemo almost catches him off guard. And Kerrigan gets back over the top. Unfortunately, there wasn't much Na'Vi can do in that round, and it's their early round presence that's really catching them out. Na'Vi's normally known for being extremely aggressive early on, but occasionally they have these games that they come out completely slow. We saw one at Star Ladder where they were dead in the first map of a best-of-3 against Na'Vi, almost got sent to the lower bracket immediately way back in March. We saw them come out actually really hot against NIP, and then have that 69 overtime game. They came out flat in the third game of that series at CCS, so occasionally Envy just don't show up into the early portion of games, and this is when TSM gets scary, because this is how they beat Fnatic so many times in the online portion of CCS. In fact, twice back-to-back, it was slow starts from Fnatic, so Envy this time, now they've got control of mid. Now they can set up this crossfire, and NBK already spots one up on the A site, tries to find this entry. They'll fall back. They've got good control. They've got vents as well to work with. Now they can try and split this open, and in fact, Xyp9x has fallen all the way back to a passive play on A. If they could smoke that off, they could be able to rush it in for a bomb plant. Bomb's in mid, though, so they still haven't committed to either site. Good entry. Shoxy finds Xyp9x. Now they've got a chance to push across. No smoke out. He gets caught, though. Device was waiting there the whole time, and that smoke came far too late. He does get down before he gets in the site. Watch out for NBK, though. He's already in Z connector. He can actually push through and catch a rotator, and that may happen right now as Device falls back to try and get the shot, and he's looking the wrong way. So NBK, right play, wrong execution, and TSM, they're getting a little bit lucky at this point because EnvyUs rather, are overthinking their positioning. And with this bomb out in the open here, Cajun B might be able to push through and just end this round right now against Happy, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So EnvyUs start things out better that time, and they don't close the round. All sorts of problems for a team that's normally extremely well composed.
Yeah, that was a couple of calculated mistakes, unfortunately. They, on the both sides, really, Team SoloMid, they got that early pick in mid, a little bit of overconfidence there, got taken out. And then, of course, EnvyUs, there was just, there was no smoke off to the side. Great opening frag there as well. Xyp9x went down. He was playing a pretty passive position. That molly went out, and then he kind of just, I think he got a bit impatient. I mean, that's the kind of thing. I think this go down, but now another opening here. Kyo into the mid. Xyp9x does go down, switching up just a little bit here. And now they're going to be able to get that second frag. Oh, they spot the second guy by Sandbags. This doesn't happen. Device looks up and spots him down. Out comes Vance, takes one frag, jumps back. Not going to want to overcommit there. And now Kerrigan's got that AWP on the side. He knows where they are. He's got the information. There still is one man boosted. He's going to be Smith. He goes down. Kerrigan takes him out. There's a man still sitting in the little side here. We'll peek around very slowly. Try to get that wide angle. He gets it as well. Shoxy goes down, and TSM, the clean-up crew in our middle. And, well, we'll see the nade come out. Could be enough damage to go down. Oh, he gets jumped out from the side. And that's going to be another CT round. 11-0. Sedicus, are we going to see a 15-0 here?
It would be shocking to me. Yes, TSM are playing well. EnvyUs is playing atrocious. This is not what we normally see from them. Again, they started well. Kiyoshima got very aggressive, got that early mid-pick, but they're not countering out. They need to get a Molotov in vents, first and foremost, because that time they won the first pick at mid, look what happened. They slid down highway, they got a player in vents, and then they actually put a really cool Molotov out on the first player to come over drop to lock him in place, so then they could isolate the guy that was still on drop, and Kerrigan got a free shot. This is working really well. TSM is compensating everything EnvyUs are doing pretty well, but EnvyUs, man, they just need to come out with these executions. They're normally better than this. They're normally far better than this. And finding their way in the site, and that's a misplay by Smith. He waits to get the bomb down, the Molotov holds him out, and what does he do? He walks back out with the bomb in his hands, but look at Happy, finally gets up middle, he finds 3. And Smith's left himself exposed. It may have just been enough to get Happy in position. Unfortunately, it's all for naught as Dupree does come around from behind, but it is a 1-on-2. No guns up, no rifles recovered, as Happy was the only one holding on to any weaponry of desire. Cajun B tries to come back inside the site, has Dupree to work with. They're both on the highway side of things. As Cajun B just waits for this push to come out, and he does get the first shot. It's traded out, though. Dupree now gets NBK jumping down. Is Dupree spotted up? Shoxy takes the brunt of the damage, though. Down to 9 HP. Waits for him to peek back out, and there we go. EnvyUs finally get one on the board. It's on an eco, and Happy really made that possible. He's so good in the lurk position.
They completely negated A there. They put 3 men into middle. And they had one in the vents, one in B. They completely left A open. They thought, okay, well, and they actually did so well. They threw incendiary grenades straight into the side. It did shut them off. Excuse me. It shut them off for a little bit. But you know, they got that shot off the side, pushed them out of the side completely. But then, as you mentioned, Happy lurking, controlling from the back, picked 3 off, so patient, and it took them so long to turn around. They probably weren't sure where they're getting shot from, but he took them all out as Cajun B grabs up Keo in the opening frag.
Now they're looking for the entry on Kerrigan, who's waiting with the op, not able to connect the first shot. Did see his elbow peek out, gives a second chance for Happy to respond. He's the one holding the op this time, so not going to Smith's. Smoke bounced off the box. That holds Zipnik's out. Cajun B wants more. The problem is that Shoxy is on the left side of the mid door, as we can see, and that smoke hasn't fully covered it off, so he can't really get out of there. He peeks out, shoulder peeks, spotted up by Cajun B. Nice shot. Good effort on the secondary peek against the op, as he does dome down Cajun B to 11 HP.
Yeah.
Smiths.
Could it be the second round again? I mean, this is in a favorable position here. They are going to take over the B side. Man, so low. VA does get the shot. Oh, he gets tagged down. That could hopefully have been avoided. But now it's a 2-on-3 situation. HP favoring TSM at the moment. And that Molly's going to do some work. That Molly's definitely going to do some work. Might push. It's going to get inside there. No ways. Happy comes in with AWP shot. Now it's a 2-on-2. Do they have information? They've still got a Molly in hand, which is pretty big here, but oh, that's going to be enough. Device and Kerrigan bring it in.
Again, the rotation comes in so quickly they can't get into the post-plant situation. They can't get into the spots that give them a chance. So bomb goes down, but the Molotov held them in place. Happy with low HP, couldn't do anything on that secondary peak. And TSM get back into it. They might have given up 1, but they'll go 12-1 here. This is looking solid. Very, very solid. And EnvyUs... This is online, sure. TSM Online are the best team in the world. A lot of people always say, as the meme goes, but they definitely are scary. There's no question about it. They're a type of team that where they haven't won this many championships, they always give it their all. They've always got something to prove, and it seems like sometimes EnvyUs, Fnatic, even NIP to some extent in the online matches just don't give the best display. Look at all those flashes. 4 flashes around the corner. The problem is they all popped in the same spot, so they didn't really cover off Kerrigan, who peeks back out, and Kiyoshima, though, gets aggressive this time. They will come around the site. And Kerrigan can't do anything. Zipnix finds Smith. Zipnix finds Kiyoshima as well. Bombs down. This does give him a bit of a chance, and they can't connect on Zipnix. He tries to shoot over the top with that P250, and a second chance on the Cajun B, but Zipnix was waiting all the while, and he'll come out. Happy can do nothing to respond, and Shoxy, unfortunately, only with the 1, was completely surrounded.
So just to clarify, Kerrigan was in our Balkan pick. He was one of them, right?
He was not. We wouldn't have gone with him.
Oh, was he not?
It wouldn't have mattered. I mean, in this game, this game it wouldn't have mattered anyway because you're canceled out by the EnvyUs performance. But, I mean, regardless, right now, 13-1, not really any money going into round 15, despite... I mean, they reset the money bonus 3 rounds ago, and...
Yeah.
This is not normal from EnvyUs. If this was a LAN, this would cause a heck of panic for a lot of people, but... Either way, it's still concerning.
Well, flashes do rain out in the middle. They do get some nice smokes also. They're going to go move fast into B here, but oh, that flashbang that came through, they heard it. They got the call. Are they going for the third as well? 3 makes it a third, but unable to stick for that last one there. But now they become bursting in. Oh, picks up a gun. Oh, wow.
Well, that's one way. That's one way to style out the half. This was just remarkable. This was a great performance, and it's hard to scale the two. It's hard to talk up TSM's. I thought they had great rotations. I thought their position was good. I thought Zipnix played extremely well inside the A site, considering he's not normally a solo player. He only ends up with 14 kills. He's still not at the top of the leaderboard, but, I mean, he had a 1-on-3 that he won out. At the start of things, when the economy could have started working for EnvyUs, that pretty much kept the game as it were, and let them build it up on the T side, or rather on the CT side. But regardless, I mean... it's hard to talk that up when EnvyUs just don't perform and don't land their shots. It's a combination of the two. And look at Kiyoshima, though. That's good aggression. That's EnvyUs playing. I mean, they raped Nip on this map at Starladder with exactly those kind of plays. Just completely pushing forward and getting out aggressive. TSM, though, compensating well. Device does find Happy. Shoxy in the sight. Can he get Zipnix? It's a dance, but they do end up trading off with the 1 kill. Cajun B gets back to Smith's. Kiyoshima, he'll answer back 2 versus 2.
Okay, that was pretty incredible. Kiyoshima in that little door there, just actually got a reload off and then turned around and shot him in the face. I mean, that's incredible. But yeah, that's what I like to see. I mean, that was the aggression coming out there from that CT side. It was almost like impatient aggression. He moved right on out and he got that frag, came all the way around, got a second frag, and then there was a little bit of a moment there, a little bit of a mistake. They crossed the door once again. It just took one shot, but yeah, fantastic round from EnvyUs, and I don't know, man, could we see one of the best comebacks? But I've at least casted.
Well, not if Device can keep hitting the 1D like that. Smith drops down. Shotgun out for Happy. As NBK tries to use the scout, does have him on low HP. Shoxy meanwhile finds Device, and Smoxy gonna go further into Kerrigan, but look at this play right now. They've opened up a little bit on the A. Zipnix has found a couple of kills, but unfortunately he's got no further to go. They'll chase him out. Just the P250 to work with, not much of a save to really hold on to, but if you can find some exit kills, it would do good damage for them.
Yeah, maybe try to grab up a gun. He'd actually get one, he takes off Happy as well, so that's pretty phenomenal. He won't be able to get that gun. Oh, 20 HP on Kiyoshima. The bomb is still in a pretty terrible... He's looking for that gun, but his bomb is still in a pretty bad position, so I don't think we'll be able to get that, but he might be able to connect with one or two headshots here if he's able to get into this main. He has a flashbang as well. Oh, I'd rather take that gun, of course. But now Zipnix in a 1v2. If he pulls this off, man, I'm gonna eat my hat.
I'm still waiting for it. Problem is the bomb's so secure. There's only 17 seconds. He pretty much has to win the 1-on-2 because he won't have time to get a kill, grab the bomb, and plant it at this point. So he's just playing for the exits. Flash is going to go a little bit deep, but he still finds Kiyoshima, who has low HP, so that works for him. 4 seconds, and yeah, Shoxy knows it. Shox is just going to fall back down the vents, and they'll pick up another round. But that was close. It was a good effort from TSM to make it interesting for sure, and hurts the economy quite a bit, because look, we've got one... Oh, we're going to probably get a pause here. Yeah, I don't know who that was that just left the server. Looks like it's Happy.
Yeah, it was Happy. That was a great round. I was kind of hoping they'd man up and try and get the frag, but it took a lot of guns off them there, and that was, as you mentioned, quite a costly round for EnvyUs. But I mean, look at the scores. I mean, have a look at TSM. They're 18 for 10, 19 for 10. They're sort of slowing down just a little bit now with some of those frags, but still trying just on the back foot right now, Team EnvyUs. But you know, CT, maybe this is their side. We said it earlier. It was kind of a switching things. This has kind of went a little bit better than expected. You know, it is a CT-sided map, but that was pretty heavy CT-sided. And that pistol. Oh,
that doesn't. You can't even read into sides there. That was just
no ways.
Just straight up team performance. EnvyUs didn't put on a display like they normally do. I will say that EnvyUs, they're a pretty balanced team in that on certain maps they're good on T, other maps they're good CT. Overall, it's fairly even, but cash typically for them is CT based. Again, I made reference, and I do apologize. I used the word rape. I'm actually normally really against that. That was a Freudian slip. I apologize. But they did actually quite comfortably beat Nip on this map at Starladder, and all they did was get up mid nonstop. They caught out Exist with the bomb before they were even executing, before they were even in position to throw smokes onto a site. It was almost similar to what we saw from EnvyUs at the start of the first half, where they weren't even getting anywhere before TSM had already found 2 picks. So that's normally their style, and maybe they can do something on the CT to pull this back, but it's a long way to go. I guess the one thing you could argue is that TSM is known for being a 14-round team. If they pull off one of their historical chokes right now, it would actually almost be hilarious at this point because they have such a huge lead. But I don't see this coming back.
Okay, so apparently Happy is without internet. That's comforting for me, because in South Africa we have our fair share of issues. Internet, they're cutting our power off every night, so it's comforting to know that we're not the only country that has internet issues. So yeah, Happy without internet issues, and it looks like they're getting a stand-in by the looks of things. Interesting.
I'll be curious to see who the stand-in is. There was rumors. I was trying to check Twitter because someone had been saying in chat, and I'd heard a couple other people mention it to me on Steam, that there was potential EnvyUs were going to play with a stand-in for this map anyway, but I didn't hear anything about that, and no one on Twitter on their team had mentioned anything. Their manager hadn't mentioned anything, so I didn't expect to see that, but now we are going to get a stand-in, and I'm going to be curious to see who it is. Maybe it is going to be next. Maybe it is going to be their manager.
Yeah. But at the moment, it's looking like they need a miracle. I mean, I'm going to be straight up here. It's 14-3. They're starting to put a little bit of momentum, and CS is that type of game. It's a momentum-based game. So we'll have to wait and see what actually goes down. I mean, 14-3, they've got a really, really steep hill to climb here, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible. I said it in the last cast, you got to eat an elephant one piece at a time, and that's what they got to do now. One round at a time, take it, get in those favorable positions, hold off on their sights, and then look at our cores. I mean, look at what we saw last round. We spoke about the cores in their sights, and I think EnvyUs just going to play for that same thing. There's going to be slight aggression. I mean, that they're one of those teams. They don't strike me as a static team. They're not going to sit. They're not going to wait. They're going to want to get out there. They want to get those frags, and that's why we follow EnvyUs. That's why we followed them throughout all the previous tournaments. That's one of those teams. But TSM, they're a wall right now. They're a brick wall.
I don't know anything about this Uzi gentleman.
Oh, interesting. All right. Well, Super Sub Uzi standing in here for EnvyUs.
Uzi from France. Has 174 items. I don't know anything about him. H1Z1, plays some Day of Defeat. All right, we'll see if his survival is good.
Yeah, so I guess what everyone wants to probably know is like how many hours he has on Counter-Strike. I guess that's what everyone's asking right now.
So they got to reset to give Uzi. I don't know how they're going to do that actually, because they technically could with Ebot give Uzi the money that Happy had.
Yeah. Is that even possible?
It is, but you have to manufacture the whole ebot file to bring him into the overlay, so that would actually take some time. And they may call to just go. Yeah, well, they haven't yet. They could call to just go where it's 14-3, unless they fair their chances to be reasonable here.
Well, we could always get a drop from Shaxi. He seems to be flush.
Guys, I know who Uzi is. Calm down. Get trolled.
Yeah, got to check those hours. I think it's always a bit of a, for the betting man, when there's a change in the lineup mid-game, it's not really something you put your money on. But, you don't exactly bet with any sort of security. That's what betting's about. And that's the thing I love about Counter-Strike, is you never know where it's going to go, especially in these head-to-heads or these best of ones. It's one of those games where it could sway anyway. It depends on how...
I like how people are saying it's quali, but that's incorrect. You are wrong on that one.
Oh, that's amazing. Let's not get into that. But, it looks like his cash has been fixed there. 3,600 in his pocket. And I think, 3,600 in a dream. Let's see what EnvyUs can do.
Well, he's a relic of days gone by, Uzi. Of course, this is not a Valve-associated tournament, so he actually can come into this and play it. I mean, this is a similar situation to what the iBuyPower players could do. The problem is in North America, they can't play anywhere because they're ESA banned as well as the Valve bans. So there's really nothing for those guys. At least in Europe, there are occasional games you can play. It's similar to Simple with Flipside, where he's ESL banned. Unfortunately, the new Pro League, they have to go with DAV cost for that. But Simple can't play at majors. He can still play other leagues. So Uzi, it's been a while, but we're going to see him come into it. And they actually get him a FAMAS to work with in this 14-3 situation for EnvyUs. That fire is doing damage to Cajun B somehow as he's below it. That was pretty weird. I've never seen it clipped that way, so the hitbox on the fire goes further down than up.
Yeah. A little bit of aggression here from Kiyoshima as well. Especially around the back, and get a little bit of information. Your device does go down in the mid as well as Cajun B. They're just going to clean up here. So CT round going great so far. Oh, that looked like a headshot on my screen, but obviously was not. But MBK and Shoxy seal it off. And I mean, they can always complain. South Africa, we don't have any bans on people here. You guys are welcome to come jam down here. It's no problem. We don't have any banned players.
Well, we'll see how this works out. Is Kiyoshima going to line up this flash to be popped off the wall and drop immediately out into B main? There are two players lurking in that position right now from Team SoloMid. Cajun B and Dupree want to come around this corner, but the smoke's out. They won't have any vision at all. Flash comes through. Is Kyo going to push it? No, he just gets into the corner. Now, that might be readable, but with that second player coming out, that'll distract them just enough here. So it's potential they could still overlook that. Meanwhile, Zipnix does want to try and get in on toward the A site. But not a lot of map control gained. And again, they're going to distract for Kiyoshima, but he can't land with the FAMAS, as he does. Able to do so as he falls back, and he gets back in the site for free as well through that smoke. So Cajun B couldn't do anything to get the trade, and that gives them a big one-man advantage right now for EnvyUs. Make it 2. Smith's going to find Kerrigan at mid.
Oh, trying to go for the jump scout there with the back of steel, but not going to bring him down now. Flash comes out and Shoxy pushes through, but Sifix, comes up with a sack. MBK does go down, but still, aim is the name of the game right now. But oh, never mind. Device with the AWP does get a frag now. Look at this Shoxy right underneath the vent there. Got the information. Will he be able to peek, get that right angle? But actually moving back out now onto the mid roof, and he'll look for that frag. It's a 1v3 with a gun, which can do quite a bit if played correctly, in the hands of Device. And it might just do that. Oh, no, he gets found up by Smiths and does get brought down. So that's going to be 14-5. It's a slow climb, Sedicus. It's a slow climb.
Like you said, eat an elephant one piece at a time.
The score's looking a bit better as well now.
Yeah, this is... it's definitely coming back in the favor. Of course, CT side for EnvyUs is a lot stronger. Kiyoshima again going to go for that same play, so we'll see if they run the same aggressive push up toward the boxes. This time he doesn't even get that far because he already finds all of TSM, and they're not all completely blinded by that flash. But it works out that Smiths and Shocks will make up for it by collecting one each. Device now inside the site, running very low on HP. Push comes through from MBK, and luckily MBK found that kill on Device first because Smiths was pretty exposed when he got through that smoke, so EnvyUs continue on here. They're now up to 6. 14-2 at half, or 14-1, excuse me, if I could do math, but now they're starting to get things rolling.
So it looks like our man Uzi's about to leave as Happy makes his way back in. So, a bit of an issue here, but it looks like the internet is back on, so, oh, actually, I don't know. Looks like he's left again. Alright, well, yeah, 14-6, and, well, now it's going to be a buy round coming out here for TSM, so we see what they get to do with this, but at the same time, it's a struggle. I mean, they're trying to find their feet on this T side. They just had a fantastic CT round. I mean, better than fantastic. It was almost the perfect CT round, almost going 15-0, but that pistol round kind of set them back. They've kind of had a sort of damper on their momentum at the moment, and they are slowing down just a bit, but now it's going to come down to those calculated pushes into the sites, and, well, I don't know. What would you say would be their preference right now? I mean, B seems to be on lockdown, complete lockdown, but that A side as well, I mean, they've just been getting pretty much in every right position, EnvyUs, so I don't know. What would you do if you were in TSM's position right now?
I mean, it's similar to you're saying for how to need an elephant one piece at a time. Sure, they don't have an elephant in front of them, but they still need to do this one round at a time. They don't have a long way to go. They do have guns back out in this round. They hopefully can manage the economy, because if they continue to get broken, yes, the money bonus is accumulating, and they're up to 6 rounds now, but again, by buying out all AKs, if they start to lose, they give up around here, it goes to 7, then they're back to an eco, they go to 8. So, I mean, even if they have to sacrifice a FAMAS just to get that last round, or be able to force over and over if they don't have confidence in winning the rounds directly, I think they're going to be fine. Again, right now, it's basically good confidence from EnvyUs to get aggressive toward mid. We've seen them win that exchange a few times. B's on pretty good lock, but what they need to read is that they haven't boosted into vents yet, B. So Kiyoshima's going for that bounce flash, as we've seen them do. If they aren't going to boost him, that does expose middle a little bit. Sure, it does mean that B's strengthened, but if they can at least control him, keep him out of vents with a Molotov, don't let him get into that boost, then they can take the one-on-one mid-fight and go for a split onto A. I think that has the most potential. Typically, TSM do run an A strategy on this site, on this map. I think actually their stats, I don't know the actual numbers, but I'm sure it's something like 2-1 A takes over B takes.
Think about B side. I mean, I've always maintained that B might be the slightly easier side to retake. On this, yeah, I don't know. A, there's just too many options. You've got obviously CT, you've got car, you've got Speedway, you've got the door, you've got A main. It's just it's a nightmare to walk into. And if you don't have, I mean, usually at that time in the round, depending on kind of where you've been playing as a CT, your gear will be depleted. I mean, it'll be exhausted rather. You won't have that many smokes, flashes, and mollies into the side, depending on where you held, of course, and where you're coming from, where your rotation is from. So I've always maintained that B seems to be the slightly easier side to take. But yeah, I mean, it's just right now it's TSM are kind of trying to do exactly what EnvyUs was, the same position they were in their tee off. They're trying to find that little gap, that little break. And yes, they're making the frags. They're getting some fantastic entry frags, but it's just the backup is there. They're the EnvyUs. They're just right behind each other. They're making sure they trade. They're getting those trades in, peaking too. And we saw you spoke about that distraction earlier about B, and those are the kind of things they're doing. They're in a sense kind of baiting TSM into these very unfavorable positions where they get a frag and okay, great, then two of them die, and the push comes out, and it's kind of catches them off guard. So it's a very interesting game to say the least. I mean, look at that, 14-6, and EnvyUs, they're climbing. Yeah, this is actually pretty incredible.
Interesting thing to note that, yeah, it's pretty obvious 6 rounds in a row, most of them fairly efficient. 3 players up in the last, 3 before that, all 5. Yeah, time expired, everyone dead. But for the most part, it's been efficient. They do have a pretty obvious handle on the fact that there's a lot of money building up. But when they called for the sub in, they announced publicly to the admin, give them 10K. So now TSM knows exactly how much money they're going to have. They know exactly how many rounds it should take to break that out. They don't have a direct indication on how many other players are that high in income. Obviously 7,800 on shocks, but people could be dropping for teammates. Other people have died. They don't know what they're buying out for nades every round. So this actually, in a weird way, can kind of help TSM realize what they're up against money-wise. Again, it's 14-6. They still only have 2 rounds to go. If it were a tight game and they were trying to break back into it money-wise, that actually could be information worth having.
Yeah, was it 10K though? I don't think I didn't see before he dropped out, but it was 10K. But yeah, they do.
I think he had like 98 or 99, so 10K they just rounded it up. Which it should actually go back to exactly what it was, but of course, who cares? I don't think these guys are going to be that picky about it today.
I think they just want to get going. I mean, there's a little bit of frustration on the side of TSM right now. I mean, I'll be in the same position. You need 2 rounds to secure your map, and well, this is. I mean, I've seen so many teams in this position before. They're locked in at that 14 or that 15, and then we get to those 69 rounds of overtime, as you've seen in the past between teams like this, and. You know, I think what's the most amount of overtime rounds you've casted?
I think that's it. That 69 round game at CCS.
It was. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think so. It was Envy and Nip. I think that would be. I've had some quad overtime games in MR3, but that was MR5. So by round count, 69 rounds I think is the most I've gone.
Yeah. We one of the tournaments we did on here, it was supposed to be MR3, but the server they used was another team server, and it was MR10. And yeah, I think we went to also about 63 rounds plus of overtime, and it was in best 3, and 2 of them went to that limit, so it hurts. It really
I think
hurts.
The record, I asked Thorin this question because he's normally good with these kind of stats. I think the record's somewhere in the 70s for a LAN. Online might be higher than that, so.
That's incredible. That is incredible. I mean, that's a lot of rounds of CS. I mean, for sure. You kind of start running out of things to say. I mean, you kind of discussed everything at that point. I mean, there's just kind of just trading round by round by round by round, and as it goes to like 60 or 70. But yeah, now Biggie Thug has joined.
We're getting everyone here today. And this might be an alt. So maybe it is. Yeah, 31 hours. This is someone's Smurf, so potentially it is Happy coming in on an alternate account if he did have a VAC authentication error. Well, we're going to see him go for an op.
Yeah. Gonna be a quick buy at this.
Yeah.
He did get his 10K, so that, yeah, as you said, they kind of have an idea. I think TSM kind of have an idea of the cash flow on EnvyUs right now, but they are. I don't know. There's the mid's just being shut down right now. They haven't really been that much control, but they are going to start pushing out with a couple of smokes. But look at this Keo pushing right forward here. Going to get up close and personal, but they are going to push on out. But is he going to push through? No. They are going to go straight into that A main and go for a little split here. We still have KGB sitting close to that B side there.
Decent effort to come in right now. A lot of pressure put on NBK. He's at his usual spot at quad, waiting for the opportunity to peek. There's been no bloodshed yet, but finally there is. They get inside the site, and it's all going apart right now. Trades go back and forth. His device now finds himself in an awkward situation in the open as that smoke dissolves. Knows he has to take down Shockix. He does so successfully. That allows the bomb to get planted, and there it is. There's round 15. So maybe they should have kept the Uzi and not gone back to what I potentially assume is Happy's ult, because as soon as he came back, they give up another round to TSM. 15-6 match point.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But then we saw it once again. Had that time to discuss and say, okay, guys, we're gonna go into we're gonna make this happen. We're committing people 2-2 side. We're going 2-3 splits. We're 2-2, 2-1-2 splits, and it's not working. Let's go commit to A. Get our flashlight, get our smokes out, and oh, there we go. Smith's middle. Dupree gets taken apart, and Kiyoshima with a Mag 10. Sorry, Mag. Oh, I'm losing my mind here.
It's okay. Yeah. I know what you meant. The Mag. Either way, though, that was a good trade at B main. That'll allow another... Oh, look at this push. This is EnvyUs exactly to a T as they get aggressive inside B. They get that early shot at mid as well. Smiths goes front to Rambo, and 3 very aggressive picks. Cajun B does make up for it now onto Keo, but he's alone 1-on-2. Does have an op and an M4 to go against, and they're actually on the A site, but they're watching this op. Happy's watching it with the M4. Damage dealt. Keo, or rather Cajun B, excuse me, down to 5 HP, and Smith's gonna look for this secondary angle. Bomb's still not recovered either as a result of this. Looks good for EnvyUs. He knows exactly where Happy's waiting with this op. It doesn't matter. Happy's going to get him shocks, or rather, Smiths doesn't even need to go for the peak, so Cajun goes down, and that gives one more round to EnvyUs. This also resets the money bonus. Interesting that Device is going to go straight, so they go for a naked op. Cajun B actually has armor to work with, but this is a really aggressive buy just to even out the economy for the rest of the team.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a couple of rounds to play with, and I mean, it's going to take one small mistake from EnvyUs to get back into that, well, to lose the game at this point, but we'll see now. They're going to rush forward, go for that peak, jumps across, can he... Misses.
So Dupree, they get inside Sunroom. Zipnix waits to find the shot inside the site. Does have a lurk from Kerrigan working up towards Squeaky as Kerrigan peeks back out. Can't get the shot. Does go back over to get the bomb. They still have this op trying to find space inside B. They're going to fall back out of vent, so they went for that boost. They don't get to it all the way. They'll have 2 inside the site. This weakens mid a little bit, but without rifles, the only rifles are in play at A. They can't really get to it. Nice wall bang from Biggie. He's going to take down Device right after he got the shot over top of the red box. This brings us back to 4-on-4. Rotation's coming over, and Biggie, a.k.a. Happy, has to wait for this first flash to come out. Doesn't fully blind him, so he lines up the first, but good answer from Kerrigan with the P250. Op in play, though. Smiths drops him before the bomb gets in position. And now they've got bomb down and a 2-on-2 take coming in from TSM with only pistols. They'll not be able to do much.
Yeah, 1-on-2, but the HP actually could be a mistake. We've got AWP in hands. He does take down one. Now it's Smiths versus Cajun B. 1-on-1 AWP situation. It could be quite a slow push here. Works around the smoke, waiting for that angle. I think he heard the gun drop down there, so now Smiths could be in a favorable position here. He got his aim the wrong way, but they are hearing each other. Oh, he's going to walk right with his back towards him, and... Oh no, he's inside the door. Sorry, my mistake. Have a look at this. Really, he's got to wait for that plant. 3 seconds on the clock. And yeah, this is going to be another EnvyUs round.
Cajun got deep inside the site considering they were all around him, but it is still match point. Map 1, doubleheader. Remember, 3 points per map, not per series. So we saw 3 points get picked up by VP and Dignitas as they split their best of 2 earlier in the evening. And a single op this time for Cajun B to go against the full buy from EnvyUs. Although they do have a scout for NBK, not an op.
Yeah, he's been loving these jump shots. Actually, more than one should. He saw him using a bit in the A side there, but got tagged down pretty hard, and then obviously said, nice shot to, I think it was KJB that took him down, or it might have been Dupree actually in that A side. But now slowing things down just a little bit here. As you said, that one AWP in hand there. Grenade does come through, but Keo's still sitting in those vents. He's waiting for the push to B. I think they heard a little bit of noise here. Check out Cajun B as he's making his way into this B side, and it's Shuxy. Oh, crisp bomb headbutt shot. Body gets it, and now the drop down. Are they going to spot out the man coming out here? They actually get called it this time. Oh, he couldn't take the shot. Teammate in the way, but they're going to take them down on the save round. Yeah, pick up a couple of rifles as well, and well, get the shot here. Smith's right up top there with that AWP. He's waiting for the peak. Cajun B so patient though. He knows he's got to step out to the side, and oh, he spotted him as he pulls out a grenade. And now Biggie Thug, the stand-in, up against 4 Team SoloMid. We'll make that 3 at the moment, but oh, there we go.
That'll do it. So 16-8 is going to be map 1. Remember, it was 14-1.5, so not a bad CT side from